cut it. Even surrounded by life all around you, in the wrong environment, you will turn to ruin. And that's because your environment shapes your life. Now, if you take a look at this drawing behind us, you'll see 4 trees growing and flourishing, while one of them doesn't have the ability to reach the same size as them. It dies before it even gets the chance. And the problem isn't with the tree or the seed. The problem lies within the soil. Because you can plant a healthy tree, a healthy seed in poisonous soil, but the only outcome you will ever get is death. Now, people work the exact same way. Your discipline and willpower might come in short bursts, making you feel like a different person, but your environment stands over that, and your environment will always control the person that you are and the life that you live. So your environment is made up of the people that you spend your time at and the places that you spend your time at. So starting with people are what dictate your habits. Smokers hang with smokers, athletes hang with athletes, people that like to read hang with people that like to read. People mirror or mimic the people around them, and that's because that's what's most comfortable to them. That's what's most compatible with them. If I play tennis, I'm going to hang out with people that play tennis. Yes, I'm going to specifically hang out with athletes, but even more specifically, a tennis player, because they're going to allow me to play tennis with them. That's what I like to do. And of course, acceptance. Human beings, at the end of the day, just want to connect with one another. So whatever gets me accepted in the easiest way is going to be something that the flesh is striving for. The flesh does not go to the afterlife with you. So comfort, acceptance, pleasure, these are all things that the flesh will chase. Okay? But the thing is, you need to understand the difference between someone that just keeps you comfortable, someone that just accepts you, and a real friend. Because a real friend will challenge your comfort. A real friend will hold you accountable when you're not living up to the expectations that they know you can live up to. But at the end of the day, always remember that a real friend will accept you regardless of whatever, regardless of your feelings, regardless of your ideologies. A real friend accepts you. Now, sometime last year, I went on a weekend trip, Airbnb, with 2 of my buddies. It was one of my buddies' birthdays. And these 2 people specifically, I don't see that often. One of them lives across the country, and the other one is just one guy that keeps to himself more than he's around. And we talk from time to time, and when we hang out, it's always love. It's always a great time. It's always real. It's just not often that we see each other. Now, everybody knows about late night deep talks. I'm sure you have them with your buddies. I'm sure you have them with your partners. Now imagine you're on a 3-day trip, just you and your 2 best friends. Of course, by the time it's late at night, you're outside smoking a cigarette, having a conversation, whatever the case may be. That was my case, even though my friends didn't smoke. These 2 guys that I was with didn't smoke, just me. And they're really coming down on me, you know. Right now, last few months, they're telling me, you've been acting like someone who we know that you aren't. And these guys have been my 2 best friends for a majority of my life. So I'm really listening to what they're saying. And they're telling me exactly, I know you got that behavior from hanging out with this crowd. I know you got this behavior from here. This is not who you are. This is not, your actions never said for this to be you. Your words, you look like a completely different person in the last 3 months. And we've been telling you for years that you got to watch who you hang out with. And they were right. And if I fast forward another 5 years, 6 years back, I could tell you that I had 2 friend groups. And one of them was this. And the other one was this. Okay? I can tell you that 100%. And the one that I classified as this used to tell me all the time, why do you even hang out with those people? And I would straight up say, I smoke. None of you guys smoke. I want to hang out with smokers when I want to smoke. Whether it was weed or cigarettes. Or, you guys don't do this. You guys don't play Call of Duty. When I play Call of Duty, I need people to play Call of Duty with. Because my friends were playing League of Legends and other games at the time, right? So that had me up into 2 different categories. But on that 3-day trip, those guys really held me accountable. But the thing is, they loved me regardless. That's what I really want you to understand, is that they weren't saying like, F you, we're cutting you off because of this. They were just challenging my comfort, challenging my ideologies, holding me accountable for my behaviors, and for not living up to the expectations that they know I can live up to. But at the end of the day, they were accepting me, loving me regardless, and trying to help me be better together. And when I got back from that trip, I started demanding, number 1 from people, being real. Just the truth. I didn't reward being nice or allowing me to be comfortable as much because I was never going to grow that way. And while I do appreciate people being nice, I do because they think they're doing the right thing. right? So I appreciate it absolutely. And an example of that was me being 22 right now, turning 23 this year without my driver license. And if you ask me how many of my friends have told me, go get your license, the answer might be 1 or 0. I don't even know. I might be 0. But I'm not upset at those people for that. Because they think they're doing the right thing. They're doing it with love or whatever. But I'm just demanding people to be more real. Because I never thought to myself, I have to go get it. And when people did ask me, I used to be ashamed. I mean, I don't know why I don't have it. I feel like I don't need it. Because I always had amazing friends or amazing people that would come pick me up wherever, whenever, however. But the thing was, in order to grow, a real friend will hold you accountable, will push you to be better. Because at the end of the day, while I'm saying I'm very appreciative for what these people were doing for me, they were going behind my back saying, why doesn't he have his license? Why not this? Why not that? So that's why, I mean, I dropped my marker stick, but this is number one, because if the people around you only shape your comfort, they will never allow room for growth in your life. Now, when you take a look at your environment and you think about where do I spend majority of my time, we spend a third of our life, some people even more, because remember, there's people with multiple jobs, but the average person goes on to spend a third of their life sleeping and another third of their life at their workplace. On average, we're spending 40 to 70 hours a week in our work environment, in our work mind. Because remember, you're commuting there, you're talking about work, and then of course, you're spending your 40 to 50 hours a week at your workplace. Now, what does that consist of? That consists of making money to survive. So already, your workplace is funding your survival. I broke down my marker stick. That's why I was using my hand. Your workplace is already funding your survival. So that's going to be, it's already going to feel like it's a big part of you. But another reason why your workplace majorly shapes your identity is because your workplace rewards or punishes your certain behaviors. So for 40 to 70 hours a week, you are being programmed, this is good, this is bad. Keep this, get rid of this. And of course, everybody knows and everybody hates, but goes along with the fact that society treats you as your job title. What do you accumulate when you get all this together? You are your job. Your job physically, literally, mentally, spiritually shapes your identity for the majority of people. But the more that I think, the more that I'm realizing that, are you growing or just surviving at your workplace? That's what I always I always ask people these deep questions, especially when it comes to basic ass topics. Because people love talking about work, people love talking about school, people love talking about bullshit. But I make everything so deep because I want to understand who you are. Do I want to stay around you? I want to understand your ideologies, but at the same time, I want to open your mind so you understand that you're limitless. So are you growing or just surviving at your workplace? Are you allowed to be yourself? Can you express yourself? Can you be creative? Quick story time. I went to a job interview 2 weeks ago, and the job title was brain trainer. So after reading the description and watching the videos attached, when they called me and said, come in for an interview, they sent me an email to watch 2 videos that were basically describing the job. And people come into this company or this establishment with cognitive issues that they would like to be better with. And you genuinely set up intensive programs and intervention plans to help these people work on these cognitive skills. So I was thinking, this is going to be amazing for me. I'm really interested in this stuff. I studied this stuff at college. Let's do it. During the job interview, the guy told me, by the way, if you get hired, we're going to give you a format to follow. You are not allowed to adjust it. You are not allowed to do things a certain way because it works better for you or because you might think it's better for the student. You have to give us the exact plan that we give you. So I said, am I a cognitive skills teacher or am I just following whatever your procedure is? Because this doesn't sound as good as it was sounding in my head before. And then I didn't follow through with whatever this job was. That ruined my whole... I felt so good about that job. In a creative way, I'm going to be able to affect people's cognitive life positively. I'm going to be able to teach them new cognitive skills and help them improve the cognitive skills that they currently have. But when you remove all my creativity from that, it's soulless. I'm just reading a book and telling you, okay, so you have to do this. None of that comes from my heart. None of that comes from my mind. I'm more or less just a servant at that point. I was not interested in that at all. So ask yourself, do I want to go down the pathway, again, I forgot my markers, of survival or purpose? Because remember, in life, pain is inevitable, and the thing that balances out pain is purpose. And two common things that I've noticed in my 20 years of life, and everybody around me seems to understand the same thing, but nobody wants to come together and say it, is that people on their deathbeds, one of the most common regrets is living only for money, is not betting on yourself, not taking any risks. But the other thing is that people in their 20s, people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s nowadays, they're not waiting until their deathbeds to make this realization, and they're not waiting on their deathbeds to make that change. We are now living in real times where there's 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds running away from their life and pursuing them instead of what their parents or society told them that they should be or that their life should look like. So people are realizing nowadays that they're just surviving, but they actually want to be living. At the end of the day, that's why it's called life. Now that you understand environment and how it shapes who you are, the most important thing that you need to understand is that trees don't choose their soil, but you absolutely do. So if you catch yourself in environments full of comfort, distraction, and just fake, and what I mean by fake is you have to ask. Like how I say you're putting on a mask to get paid at work. Or when you're around people where you're not allowed to share your true feelings, true ideologies, whether it's a negative environment, or whether it's an environment where people are just not honest with each other. People are just nice with each other because they prefer a comforting environment. You always have the chance to make the choice to change and choose a soil that you plant yourself in that's full of accountability, love, support, acceptance, motivation, and purpose. Because like I've been saying this whole video, environment dictates who you are and the life that you live. And I want to remind you that even with life surround all around you in the wrong environment, you will turn to ruin. Take care.